Welcome back to NeuroEnglish Now. Today, we're diving into a real-life skill that can save you money and boost your confidence. How to negotiate prices in English-speaking markets.
Whether you're at a flea market, booking a hotel, or even negotiating a deal in a local shop, knowing how to bargain effectively in English can make such a huge difference.
Exactly. And the best part is, it's not just about the money you save, it's also about feeling confident when you interact with native speakers, especially in situations that, let's face it, can feel a bit uncomfortable at first.
So true. I mean, bargaining might sound intimidating, but with the right approach and some key phrases, you'll realize how doable it really is.
Totally. I think a lot of people underestimate how much flexibility there actually is in prices. So if you've ever walked away from a deal because you didn't know what to say, today's the day will help you fix that.
Right. We've got essential phrases, smart tactics, and a few cultural tips to share. By the end, you'll know where, when, and how to negotiate, and also when not to.
All right, let's jump in. All right, now that we're ready to dive in, let's kick things off with a crucial first step. Where can you actually negotiate? Because in English-speaking countries, it's definitely not everywhere.
Right? It's not like some cultures where bargaining is, kind of standard practice in almost every transaction. Here, it's usually limited to a few specific places.
Exactly. Like flea markets, that's probably the first place most people think of. You see something cool, like an old record player or a piece of vintage jewelry, and it definitely doesn't hurt to ask for a better price.
And it's not just flea markets. Independent shops, especially family-owned ones, can be a great place to negotiate too. You'll find shopkeepers who might be more flexible, especially if they're trying to close a sale.
And small hotels, absolutely, especially if you're booking in person. Maybe you're staying for multiple nights or you're booking last minute. There's usually some wiggle room there.
But let's be clear, you wouldn't do this in places like supermarkets or big retail chains. I mean, imagine walking into a department store and trying to negotiate the price of, a toaster. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteed to get you some weird looks. The same goes for most restaurants. Unless it's a private event or something really unique, it's just not a thing.
And I think this all ties back to cultural norms, right? Bargaining in English-speaking countries isn't about haggling aggressively. There's a kind of casualness to it. It's more about building rapport with the person you're negotiating with.
Totally. And speaking of building rapport, let me share a quick story. I was at this flea market in Portland last summer and found this awesome vintage bicycle. The seller originally wanted like $150 for it, but I just started chatting with him about the bike, the market, even the weather. And after a few minutes I asked, "Is $120 your best price?" He smiled, thought about it, and said, "You know what, let's do $110."
That's a great example. You didn't push too hard or make it uncomfortable. It was about showing respect and being friendly.
Exactly, and I think that's the key takeaway here. Whether you're at a flea market, an independent shop, or negotiating for a hotel room, it's all about approaching it in a way that feels human, not transactional. So, building on that idea of keeping it human and friendly, let's dive into how you actually start a negotiation. What are some good phrases to break the ice and get the conversation going without coming across as too pushy?
Absolutely. It's more than just words, isn't it? It's about how you say them. Like, instead of jumping in with, "Give me a discount," you could ask, "Is this your best price?" It's polite and opens the door for conversation.
For sure. And there are so many ways to phrase it without coming across as demanding. Like you could say, "Can you do any better on the price?" Or even, "I really like this, but it's a bit out of my budget."
Oh, that's a good one. I think it shows you're serious about buying but hesitant because of the price. And sometimes, sellers just need that little nudge to reconsider.
Exactly. And if you're ready to make a counteroffer, a simple "would you take X amount for it" works really well.
It does. And here's another great one. "If I buy two, can you give me a discount?" Perfect if you're, shopping for multiple items.
Oh, I love that strategy. Bulk deals are such a win-win. And you can pair that with, "I'm paying in cash, can you give me a better price?" Cash is super appealing for small vendors. They don't have to worry about card fees that way.
Right. And while you're using these phrases, remember that your tone matters as much as the words. Stay friendly, smile, and keep things light. It's not a hard-nosed negotiation. It's more like, a conversation.
Totally. And that's where cultural differences come in. In places like the US or the UK, negotiations aren't about being aggressive or arguing over every penny. Sellers appreciate a polite, easygoing approach way more.
Exactly. For example, if a seller says no, don't keep pushing. Just move on. Otherwise, it can come across as rude. And, oh, one big no-no. Don't make an insultingly low offer. Instead of saying something like, that's way too expensive, try, it's a bit above my budget. It's softer and keeps the conversation going.
Oh, I totally agree. Negotiating isn't about winning at all costs. It's about striking a balance where both you and the seller feel good about the deal. Honestly, that's the sweet spot. So as we've seen, keeping things friendly and finding that balance is key. Now let's explore some next-level negotiation tactics, strategies that, when used thoughtfully, can really give you an edge while ensuring both sides feel good about the deal.
Yeah, and the first one we have to talk about is the silence trick. It's so simple, but it works surprisingly well.
Oh, totally. Here's how it goes. After the seller gives you their price, instead of responding right away, you just stay quiet. Most people get uncomfortable with the silence and feel the need to fill it, and sometimes they'll fill it by offering you a better deal.
It's true. I've tried this before, and it's amazing how quickly some sellers will say, okay, let's lower it to this. It's like, they don't even want you to walk away.
Exactly. And speaking of walking away, that leads us to the next tactic, the walk-away strategy. Now this one takes a bit more nerve, but it's super effective.
Right. The idea is to thank the seller politely, say something like, thanks anyway, and actually start leaving. If they really want the sale, they might call you back with a better offer.
Yes, and here's the thing, not every seller will bite, but when it works, it's like magic. They'll go, wait, okay, I can give it to you for X amount. It's a real power move.
And I have to say, this one worked for me beautifully during a trip to Thailand. I was at this market looking at some handmade scarves as souvenirs. The seller was firm on the price. But when I started to leave, she called me back and offered a discount if I bought 2 instead of 1. It was a win-win.
Perfect segue into our last tactic, the bundling approach. This one's great if you're buying multiple items. Just ask, what's your best price if I take all of these? And see what they offer. Sellers love making bigger sales, so you've got that leverage.
Oh, for sure. Especially in markets or even secondhand shops. And the best part? You walk away feeling like you got a great deal. And the seller's happy too. It's balanced.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, just like we've said throughout this episode. Use these strategies wisely, keep it friendly, and remember, it's not just about the money. It's also about having a positive interaction and boosting your confidence in those moments.
Well said. All right, so to wrap up, we've covered so much today, from where and when you can negotiate to essential phrases, and even these advanced tactics.
Yeah, and if bargaining ever felt intimidating before, I hope today's tips showed you it's actually kind of fun and really rewarding too.
Absolutely. And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode of NeuroEnglish Now. We hope you're feeling ready to try out these negotiation tips in the real world.
On that note, thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, practice makes progress, not perfect. See you next time.